everyone, welcome to tonight's Celebrity Big Brother 3 chat.
It's episode 8, and I don't know why I'm smiling.
This episode made my blood boil. Watching the content from this episode, the latter part of this episode unfold on the feeds, made my blood boil.
This was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But we'll get there because it didn't start out that way.
It was hard to enjoy even the good parts of this episode, though, because it was so...
you knew what was coming.
Yes, I was so upset about what I knew was coming up. But anyway, last time, Kristen Sink was voted off.
And the house guests were left on the wall. The dreaded wall.
It's a Big Brother classic.
It was made with seatbelts this time around, practically.
I mean, basically, right? They had the wider ledge to stand on. They had the longer bars to hold on to. So it was more of like a bracing yourself than like a pulling yourself back kind of thing.
It was like when you go on a ride at Great Adventure or something, and they have you, like, strapped in on the thing, and there's, like, no way you're gonna fall out unless you, like, really fall asleep or something.
Don't get me wrong. I still think it's difficult, even with the way that they had it, but it's definitely... It looks a lot easier than it is on a normal season.
Yeah. All right, so...
Big Brother was hitting them with all sorts of stuff. Not only was the wall leaning forward... But also, they're getting hit with the
They're trying to hit them in the genitals.
At least Shayna.
Did they edit it after the fact? Because I remember her definitely saying...
She definitely said her...
It went in my vagina.
Vagine.
But
on the live show.
Now she just said nani.
And crotch.
Crotch.
She said it... That's the thing. Like, she brought it up multiple times, so I don't know if they just left the vajayjay one out, or if they just changed it for this episode. I don't know.
But Lammy, a.k.a. Lamar, was the first one off after about 20 minutes.
Which is still, like, pretty respectable for someone of his stature.
His feet didn't even fit on the ledge. He's too
long for these. The widened ledge, yeah. So,
imagine if they hadn't widened the ledge.
He'd be really struggling.
He might as well have just thrown himself in the garbage if they hadn't widened the ledge.
Yeah.
Cynthia was off after 21 minutes. I guess
she was off less than a minute after him.
She just didn't want to be the first one to fall off. I'm not doing this.
Right.
All right. So they were hitting them with paint. They were hitting them with steam. They even threw some hair at them.
I'm sorry. That would gross me out. Even if it's some, like, synthetic hair.
It's some freaking Party City wigs cut up.
It would still freak me out. Who wants to be covered in, like, hair when you're also covered in, like, liquids that are going to make it stick to you?
Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Carson was using it to his advantage to dry off his handlebars and everything.
Yeah, he kept drying off his hands, his handlebars.
With the hair.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart, right? Yeah. Trying to clear off the foot space.
He was sticking his hands in his pants, wiping it on his underwear.
Whatever you got to do, right?
Yeah. So then Todd dropped. Mm-hmm. So it was basically just Shayna.
Wait, I gotta say something, though, about Todd dropping.
Okay.
Because they tried to make it seem like Todd was, like, a piece of crap and, like, he didn't last very long.
He was not.
He was not. He was really good for somebody.
His back was killing him.
He's, like, 56 years old, right? He's had shoulder problems. Mm-hmm. I thought he said he had, like, surgeries on his shoulder in the past. So, like, he really hung out for a long time.
It was pretty respectable.
Yeah.
And then Shayna dropped at 55 minutes, so it came down to a battle of the gays.
Oh, boy.
Their words, not mine. Mm-hmm. Well, Todrick's words. Why would I repeat that? So it was Carson versus Todrick.
Good versus evil.
Yeah, it was like the smoke monster versus the not smoke monster on Lost. The twins.
Yes.
So Todrick made
Why do you keep saying Todrick?
I don't know. Because it's
Todrick.
He just pisses me off. I'm sorry.
And Todrick. I don't know. But
I have to add an extra syllable because I'm extra angry.
Well, anyway, they hung on there for like a few more minutes after Shayna fell. And Todrick was having a tough time. He was slipping and sliding. So he's like, oh crap, I better make a deal before I fall off this thing.
I mean, Carson was also slipping and sliding.
Yeah, but he looked more solid than Todrick, I think.
What about Todrick?
Todrick, I don't know.
All right. So he said, if you keep me safe and don't backdoor me, I'll drop. I'll drop anyway.
I don't know what that voice was. like, will you...
That was my smug Todrick. You know,
No.
like, oh, I'm so great.
That sounded more like it.
Yeah.
But he was asking, like, don't put me up on the block, don't backdoor me. And Carson was like, yeah, I could do that, whatever. So then Todrick dropped, and that means that Carson is the new HOH. Like, oh my God, so excited, so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Okay. So, we're all excited now that Carson is the new HOH.
And this really was such an exhilarating, exciting
It really
time
was.
when it was actually happening. But now, after the fact, I'm like, oh, we were so happy back then. How things have changed.
Can we go back to last week, please?
No, just like 2 nights ago.
Yeah. So Shayna is celebrating. Cynthia is celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so thrilled. They're all going to drink champagne and
everyone
dance around.
except
Well,
Misha's army and Misha.
I guess Misha's going up.
Yeah, I mean, she's put Carson up on the block multiple times now. Everybody knows that Misha and Todrick have been targeting Carson, so it would make sense that he would target her.
She is a stone cold stone cold Big Brother celebrity killer.
I mean, she came to play.
She has. I feel like she has zero emotion.
I mean,
except
we saw
for the
her
one
cry
tear.
the other...
One tear.
Yeah.
One. She went. Done. That's it.
Oh my God.
So Cynthia, Shayna, and is it Cynthia?
Yeah.
That didn't sound right for
Are you
some
okay?
reason. Is it the power of video? All right. So Cynthia and Shayna and Carson are celebrating.
Yes, the Schwisters or
Schwizzers.
Shisters. I don't know.
What does that mean?
Because, I don't know. Whatever. Some play on sisters.
All right.
Swisters.
Swisters.
Mm-hmm.
Carson wants to put up Misha and Todd.
Yes.
Todd Bridges.
Because you would think if he was trying to break up Misha and Todrick, he would put them up on the block together. But he made that deal with Todrick. He's planning on following through with it. Mm-hmm. So he's going to put up Todd, who is also loyal to Misha. And he figures if I can't get Misha, at least we'll get somebody else who's, like, really loyal to her.
Right. So Misha and Todrick are chatting.
Mm-hmm.
And this, as I was watching this live, and I was just throwing up everywhere because he was all like, oh, I haven't won anything and I was hoping I would come in here and win. And I think he's upset also because he's not going to be that safe anymore if she goes because she's usually wins everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he reaps all the benefits from that. Oh, really?
As he rips a toy down there.
All right.
Chloe.
I hope that's a toy.
It is.
Okay, good. So he's all crying about how...
What am I going to do if you're not here anymore?
And I love you.
I can't with those two.
I know. She ate a whole bag of chips during this conversation, practically. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Which is worth mentioning because it's very out of character for her.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she's got like a calorie count in the storage room because she's like keeping track of everything she's eating.
Oh, really?
'Cause she's got a fight coming up in, I think, May. So she's trying to lose weight for that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in the right weight class or whatever. But like,
yeah.
she was very upset when Carson won HOH.
All right, so poor Lamar, he still doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know how the veto works. He doesn't know. He thinks people get put up for the veto.
Okay, I could understand these celebrities not knowing what's going on in like the first week or so.
But it's almost the third week.
But I mean, like, we've seen how it all goes down now, right? Like, why are we not getting this? It's wild.
Plus, I think they pretty much tell them, don't they? Like, what to expect?
I mean, what? Even if you didn't do your homework and watch any of the show beforehand, you've seen a few cycles now. You've seen a few evictions, like...
You know what I thought was crappy?
What?
That Misha did not come and see Carson's HOH
I know!
room. Even the crappiest of the crappy come and see the enemy's HOH room. It's, like, respectful.
Yeah, that's a huge slap in the face.
A huge, like you said, a huge slap in the face.
Not cool.
But Carson is such a gentleman that I'm sure he was disappointed. But he was gracious.
Mm-hmm. I loved that he got pictures of his horse.
And Tom.
Yeah, and of course his family too. But
yeah.
Oh, Tom Felicia. I love that they're such good friends.
Yeah, me too. And he got a hoe robe.
Yeah.
Because he's such a hoe.
They didn't show it on the episode, but his letter was also from Tom Felicia, and it was very sweet and fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't they have a show together too?
They might have at one point. Yeah, they might have.
I love the two of them together. Mm-hmm. All right, so Carson tells Todrick that Misha and Todd are going up.
Yeah, he's like, I want to keep you in the loop here. I want to let you know what's going on. And Carson was not keeping his plans a secret from anybody. He was telling everybody what was going on.
Even though you're the prodigal son, we are welcome back to be in our alliance and be with us. This could be all yours, says Cynthia.
Here's the thing. Because Todrick is not going up on the block, the Swisters are trying to figure out a way to make sure that Todrick does not use the veto on Misha if he wins. So they're like, let's make a deal with him. If you don't use the veto, like if you win the veto and don't use it,
leave the Noms the same.
Same. Let's reunite our original final
girls
four.
And gays.
Yeah. No, you can't do that at this point. It's too late.
It's too late. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
It's too late.
You can't put the gay back in the gays and girls.
Yeah.
All right, so Todrick runs, not walks, to Misha and tells her everything.
But to be fair, they did not show that in reality, Todrick asked permission to go and tell Misha about this conversation and talk to her about it.
He's ripping up Todrick down there.
Oh. And the Swisters gave him permission. They were like, yeah, it's not a secret. Like, you can go and talk to her about it, whatever. So, he had permission to do that.
I know, but the way he told her was so, like, mocking.
Of course.
Of, oh, they think I would do this.
That's their MO.
He's got a plan. He wants to throw Shayna under the bus to them.
Well, he's going to start with Cynthia because he knows that Carson is not as likely to believe this BS. But if he can get Cynthia on his side first and then go to Carson.
Read the Weekly World News and like
you'd think so, judging by what we saw here tonight.
So gullible.
This was so bad.
So Todrick is starting to tell Cynthia that Shayna was playing both sides of the house. Which is
true. That is true.
But in Shayna's defense, she did tell them that she was also playing the other side of the house. But that was then.
Yeah. This
is now. It's not like you walk in the door in Big Brother and things stay stagnant the whole time you're in there. It's moving and changing constantly.
This game is always changing. And the thing is, she showed where her loyalties lie in a big way last week. And she has firmly planted herself on Carson and Cynthia's side. But Cynthia was just taking in everything that Todrick was saying. What they didn't show on this show, I thought they gave Todrick a very favorable edit here.
They gave him a really great edit.
Because he was...
talking smack.
A piece of crap.
Yeah.
During this whole thing. He was bringing Shayna's personal life into it, talking about her character in the real world, talking about the clothing that she wears around the house, like all this stuff. It was super gross. And this was all part of his strategy to turn Cynthia against Shayna. And you know what? It worked.
It sure did.
Which is very, very sad.
Cynthia was buying it.
Which...
that it hurt me so much that she was buying that.
Why would you take all this in and believe it immediately without talking to your actual ally first? Like, you're getting all this information from somebody who has been targeting your number one this whole entire time. Like, no, I don't think... Misha and Todrick were necessarily targeting Cynthia this whole time, but they have been targeting Carson this whole time.
Yeah. All right, so...
Misha joins in.
Yeah.
She's also vouching for Todrick, and she's saying, oh yeah, Shayna's been playing both sides, she's been working with us, blah, blah, blah. And Cynthia, the way that she's accepting this information, like, oh man, they're both saying it, so it must be true.
Right.
Do you really think they're going to have conflicting stories? They are working so closely together.
These are people that put you on the block. And you are believing everything that they're saying.
Yeah.
And going against somebody who tried to save your side of the house.
Yeah. So at this point, Cynthia is firmly in the Todrick and Misha camp. Carson comes in. Mm-hmm. So now there's 3 people telling Carson, Shayna's gotta go. We can't trust her. She was saying that she wanted you out, blah, blah, blah. And Carson's like, that's pretty messed up. I believe it too.
Oh my God.
Why are you two so gullible?
The season died there. What was the time of death?
Yeah, it was rough. It's been rough.
That was it.
Yeah.
All right, so, hey guys, maybe we should backdoor Shayna now.
Yes. Did you see how Misha really took control of that whole thing? It was dictating exactly how the rest of this week should go, and they're all just like, yes.
Yes, tell us what to do.
So, okay, Shayna actually walks into the bathroom while these 4 are in there.
Oh my God, that was awkward as hell because everybody was just like...
Yeah, she was like, okay.
And she knew exactly what was going down.
Not exactly, but she knew something was off.
She knew something was not
something was amiss.
Including her.
Yeah. So then... Later.
She says, all right, I'll walk out. I'll let you guys have your, time to chat, whatever. Yeah.
So they come out of this conversation. It might be. And Cynthia tells Lamar, Shayna is the devil. She's the worst. She's terrible. They start talking this crap about Shayna. And then Shayna is like, hey, Cynthia, can I talk to you? What's going on? And Cynthia's like, not without Carson.
I'm not talking to you without Carson. Go get Carson.
Oh, my God!
She's like, I can't believe I was sleeping in the same room as this person, right next to them, and they are the devil. That was awful.
I just can't. So then,
Carson
Shayna...
and Cynthia talk to Shayna.
Yeah.
And Shayna tells them everything all over again.
And reminder, Shayna used the veto on Carson last week and voted for Cynthia to stay over Kristen saying.
I don't know what Cynthia was saying about how she was keeping Shayna safe because it was the other way around.
What have you been doing this whole game? What? Shayna has won 2 powers of veto.
Yeah.
2 power vetoes. She saved
and a power of video.
Yes. It's wild. Shayna has been going around the house, yes, talking to other people, trying to get numbers for your side of the house because Carson and Cynthia not really making connections with people outside of their group and pulling in numbers themselves.
I don't understand because Cynthia is definitely talking to Todrick and to Lamar and to Todd, and they are definitely not on the side with her.
Yeah.
So how is it okay for her to do that and not for Shayna to do that?
Yeah, there's just a whole lot here that doesn't make sense. And, Cynthia and Carson are just falling for it. Yeah, it's hard to watch.
And then Cynthia is, dragging Shayna downstairs because she's like, well, if this is true... I want you to say it in front of the people.
She's basically trying to make a house meeting happen here.
Yeah, so there's a house meeting.
It doesn't last very long.
It's 2 minutes because...
Shayna's being bombarded here.
Yeah.
By everybody.
She gets so freaking frustrated after she's, explaining herself in front of everybody that she's just like, all right, well, if you still don't believe me, just put me up on the freaking block. I don't care. I'm done.
I gotta give her a lot of props for holding it together because I feel like I would have lost my mind.
Yes, I definitely would have. I think I would have punched somebody in the face, but I would have been dead because they would have killed me.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, it's time for the noms.
Okay.
And Carson goes with his original plan of putting Misha and Todd up on the block because they're huge threats.
Okay, but don't be fooled by this. Don't be like, oh, Shayna's safe, they went back to normal. No. This is approved by Misha because Misha's like, all right, either, one of the nominees, me or Todd, or, somebody other than Shayna will win the power veto, one of us comes down and Shayna goes up on the block. And it seems like at this point, everybody except for Shayna is on board with that plan.
So the only possible saving grace is for Shayna to win the video. That's how upset I am.
Yeah.
She's got to win the veto tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's done. The season's dead. It's crap. It's a dumpster fire. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
It's trashed.
So, the veto competition will be happening live on tomorrow night's eviction episode.
You better pray for Shayna to win that veto. Because
I know.
It's going to suck if she does not.
Yeah.
I liken this to a double eviction.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're never happy ever with the outcome of a double eviction ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's how we're going into this. It's like we know the car is going to crash, but we can't get out.
I need to stop getting my hopes up for this show because I'm always disappointed somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I can't talk about this anymore. I need like some palate cleanser, figure skating tonight. I'm sorry. It's been a very rough weekend with this.
Yeah. This has been very upsetting.
I mean, I can respect the gameplay of throwing Shayna under the bus, but it was very upsetting to see how personal Todrick and Misha made this.
Yeah.
Not cool.
And I really hate the way that Todrick took advantage of his personal relationship with Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Because Carson and Todrick have known each other for a long time, and Carson is not expecting Todrick to lie to him.
Well,
I mean, really.
I mean,
it's at a personal level. It's one thing to lie to somebody in the game, but when you have a personal relationship like that with somebody,
I don't know.
and then
I have
you
to
lie
say
to
that's
them,
part of the game, though. You got to leave those personal outside relationships outside of the game. You know, this is a whole different animal.
Carson's too good for this.
Yeah.
He's just way too good for this.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We will see you all tomorrow. And until then, much love.